feels today that he was tipped off about that drone attack, and that he got from the Los Angeles Police Department under FOIA a revelation that in fact Meghan tipped the police off, tipped the drone
what the fuck?
The paparazzi off where she could be found. She wanted her privacy invaded, which to us now doesn't seem that shocking because we've seen them invading their own privacy for years now. But the idea that within days of arriving in America for their privacy, she was literally tipping off the paps where to find her, it just shows that she's on a different planet to all of us. Her agenda is by now so obscure we can't even say, except that she's got a puppet, and the puppet is Harry.
Hey, y'all, come look at this.
And Harry is just, I think, out of his depth. He has no idea anymore what he's being played at. He has no idea the game that he's actually engaged in. And it can only end in tragedy.
I mean, that's an extraordinary revelation.
Bop, bada bop, boom, pow.
Revelation. What would I think be so helpful, though, and this is why I'm very suspicious why Meghan hasn't done this, is for her to actually have an honest conversation with her husband and say, look, Harry, your mum used the media a lot. Used the media a lot. We all know that. She regularly tipped off photographers. She had her favourite journalists who she spoke to regularly. You know, Richard Kay, editor-at-large at the Daily Mail, was one of her last ever phone calls back in 1997. And also, Harry, when I was famous, when I was desperate for publicity,
Wait a minute!
I used to tip off paparazzi photographers all the time and leak stories about myself to newspapers in order to get headlines, because the problem is, Tom, he has such a warped view of the relationship between celebrities and royals and the media, including his own mother. And it's leading him on a campaign that I believe is deranged.
Well, it's deranged, but you've got to look back at it, you know, Dan, because you've got to look at what my book revealed about her. She's a scheming woman.
Revenge.
She's always...
Now I'm going to go ahead and do that later on today.
Yeah, it's definitely freedom. It does feel as though our culture is not... feel as though our culture is not just in a state of collapse, it is in a state of active destruction of everything that is valuable. I've been saying that we don't have a culture and a counterculture the way we used to, where there was sort of this dominant traditional culture and there was a counterculture that challenged some of those things but created its own culture. Now we just have an anti-culture, and that anti-culture is just dreck designed to tear down things. And that seems like what the Grammys basically become. It's just a bunch of garbage designed to tear down traditional structures and institutions at any cost, and then you're rewarded for doing that, apparently.
Yeah, to me personally, I think for a lot of Americans, it sort of feels like we're actually under attack. Like it doesn't seem real. You know what I mean? And I know that I don't believe that the average American thinks that is good, right? And yet we see that it's being promulgated in the culture. We see that it's being perpetuated. We see that people are being held up as idols when they do these sorts of things. So it makes you wonder. So it makes you wonder who's promoting it, right? Who is behind this push to tear down American culture, to tear down American values, and to fundamentally weaken America at the same time, right? Because that's what you're doing, right? You're destroying values, and in the process, it always seems to me to be an attack on the family, what it means to be a family. Promoting whether it's the trans agenda, whether it's the lesbian agenda, whatever it is, it always seems to be this attack on tradition, cultural values, making men strong, making women strong. Making women strong and keeping families together.
So I also wanted to ask you about the most victimized person in American and British society these days. That, of course, would be Meghan Markle, who is the most victimized princess in the history. I mean, thoughts and prayers to Meghan Markle, the most victimized person in the history of humanity. I have to say, by law, apparently, that I believe her when she makes any accusation of any sort. Because if I don't say that I believe her, then I lose my job. Like Sharon Osbourne is about to lose her job, or like Piers Morgan lost his job, according to the dictates of the Constitution of the United States, and apparently all of the founding documents in Britain, according to Magna Carta. We have to agree with Meghan Markle's self-perception of victimhood, and also her protestations that she didn't marry into the royal family for any career purpose. She actually career purpose. She actually gave up her career, it turns out, to become a princess and then have a line of business at Netflix and then also run for president. I mean, it's an amazing, I would say, not even a horizontal career move. She had to take a downgrade from her job as a second-rate actress on Suits to do all of this. So really...
Second-rate? Seems a little dishonest. I'm going D-list. I feel like everyone's now promoting her to the B-list. We had no idea who she was prior to Harry. Not a single prior to Harry. Not a single American. She was off in Canada somewhere doing some show that nobody's heard of. But I'm glad that we've upgraded her to second-rate actress. And you are right. I'm glad that you're not questioning her narrative. As you know, even the Bible tells us women never lie, right? In that chapter of Genesis, women have never done anything wrong. And so she's obviously telling the truth about everything that's happened for her. Look, she's an opportunist. And the thing about her is she was a D-list actress, and now she is again being a D-list actress. No one's buying it. Actually, there was a poll that showed that her likability went down, which was pretty hard because it was floating at somewhere like 23%. And now people like her even less because she's just not good at selling victimhood. She's not a good victim. You know, there's people that you go, oh, okay, they're lying, but I'm inclined to believe them. There's nothing about her story that makes any sense, especially when you say you had no idea who Prince Harry was, right? You had no idea who the royal family was. You thought you were going to walk in and shake the Queen's hand. I didn't know that I had to curtsy or do anything polite. I thought, who is this woman? Isn't she just your grandma? So she's so ridiculous. But, you know, the serious thing about this is that she's so emblematic of leftist culture, of what Hollywood is and what America is going through. The Brits are very surprised by this suddenly castigating all of the UK as racist and fundamentally backwards because they don't have the same history as America. And for me, it really hits home because my husband obviously is British. He grew up in London. His father is a lord. His mother is a lady. So it's so frustrating for me to see her try to export America's obsession with race to the British people who just don't care about this sort of stuff. They just don't like you. And it's just a weird thing. All of a sudden, then minorities have this card in life where if we go through anything bad, if somebody doesn't like us, it can never be just because
Let's go.
It can never be just because life sucks or because people don't like us. It's always because I'm Black, I'm a woman. So if you don't like me, it's your fault and you have a problem and you need to change it.
We'll get to more with Candace in just 1 second. And if you're betting on the future of Western culture, well, that's a bad bet. But here's the thing. You can have a lot of fun betting on sports. March is here and March Madness has officially begun. It is time for you to shoot your shot, score big with nonstop action with MyBookie. Select the winners from 63 tournament games.
It is what it is. It is what it is.
And games in the MyBookie bracket contest for a chance at $10,000 in cash prizes. It is only $1 to enter. It doesn't matter whether you're filling out multiple brackets, betting the national championship winner, or simply looking for player and game props. MyBookie has you covered. Sign up today at mybookie.ag. Use promo code Shapiro to secure a deposit bonus up to $1,000. That's promo code Shapiro to claim your first deposit bonus. College ball, NBA, NHL, no matter the